Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the connection between Candida fungal infections and inflammatory bowel diseases. So this is one that I feel like nobody talks about. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just not known. Not enough people are realizing the connection, but so if you're not familiar with Candida albicans, basically it's an overgrowth of bacteria. Candida is naturally occurring. It's always living in our intestines. But there are some things that can cause the overgrowth of it, and basically it's not checked by other good bacteria. And so one of the most common reasons is from taking antibiotics. So I can imagine you've probably taken antibiotics at least once in your life. Many people have taken them numerous times, myself included.
Crazy.
Candida is just an overgrowth of bacteria, and we lose the good bacteria that keep it in check through antibiotics and other things like poor diet and toxins. And then we feed it typically things that help it to grow, namely sugar. So all processed foods, carbohydrates that break down into glucose in the body, also feed it. So if you think about what your typical diet includes, for most people, it does contain a lot of carbohydrates and sugar, and oftentimes fruit, and that does also feed Candida. So what some research says, and I'll show one article here that basically showed that the people with ulcerative colitis took a lot longer to heal and had higher presence of Candida in their intestines. So it did show that, the longer someone has that imbalance, the worse it gets. And then another study showed that folks with colitis have had a history of Candida, and also that Candida slows the healing of ulcerative colitis. So it's just not something that's talked about very often, is what is that connection, why is it there, and why is it so common? And I've actually talked to several people that their colitis started after taking antibiotics. But if we don't then replenish that good bacteria that is killed off, then we run the risk of getting that bacteria out of balance in our body. If you think this is a problem, there's a couple ways you can check it. First of all, a stool test, a stool sample will tell you if there's an overgrowth of Candida in your body. You could also do a saliva test. I think it's a spit test. You can do at home, where you spit in a cup of water in the morning, and whether it floats or sinks helps determine whether or not you have it. There's even some devices that you can measure energetically by putting your hand on a device, and it's actually an FDA approved device that can measure different toxins in your body, including Candida. So there's a few ways to do it, but I always say if there's no harm in doing the protocol, then why not just do it? So the protocol for Candida, as you might imagine, is to starve it. And so this is, typically by, not feeding your body any processed foods, no carbohydrates that break down into sugars. So even the healthy stuff like sweet potatoes will feed Candida. So all grains need to be eliminated. Any kind of starchy carbohydrates, so non-starchy vegetables are okay. And then fruit is eliminated, also dairy because of the lactose in dairy, and any sugar at all. So those are a few things that you can do, and I'm going to talk more in another video about the whole specific Candida diet that's recommended. And I actually have done this many, many years ago when I previously had a Candida problem. And in fact, that was when I was vegan and doing a lot of fruit smoothies.
How could you be so stupid?
So if you've had antibiotics and then you've experienced any of the symptoms that go along with Candida, which can be digestive problems, bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea. You can also have yeast infections, fungal infections in your nails, thrush, so in your mouth. And there's things like weight gain and mood disorders, and there are quite a few things that are related to Candida that can be it. We don't know for sure, but never hurts to try the protocol. There's nothing bad about doing that, and it's only for a month. So you can give that a try, and at the same time, you can also take, say, anti-fungal herbs like, coconut oil is actually one of the best things to consume for getting that Candida under control because it contains caprylic acid. You can also use olive leaf. That is an anti-fungal herb. It's actually the leaf of the olive tree. Oregano oil is pretty popular. So there's several different herbs you can use, and we can go into that in another more on how to deal with Candida through diet and herbs. But for now, let me know what you think about this. Comment below, and then I will see you in the next video.